Hello, my name is Daniel Mühlbach. I work for Austrian Post. I'm the head of the CSR and Environmental Management Department. I've joined Austrian Post in 2013. I was from then on responsible for all the CSR and environmental management activities. And before that, I worked in consultancy and in auditing, always dealing with the topic of sustainability, corporate social responsibility, and environmental management. And it's my pleasure today to be here, at least digitally present, to show you our initiative CO2 neutral delivery, a 3 steps approach to become carbon neutral. And first, just a quick glance at Austrian Post, who we are, what we do. We are the national postal company here in Austria, and we have a mail and branch network and a parcels and logistics network, which we both merged into one network. But as this is still data and we are still not yet finished with the 2019 annual report, I can only show you these slides with the data from 2018. So as you can see, from the 2 billion euros of revenue that we had in 2018, we have about 2/3 originates from the mail and branch network, where we deal with letter mail, direct mail, newspapers, magazines, and branch financial services. And the other quarter, around 550 million euros, comes from the parcels, express mail items, fulfillment and cash transport, e-commerce services. And our EBIT was around 200 million euros in 2018. Range of our products and services, we transport around 5.3 billion mail items and around 108 million parcels and EMS items. This data is 2018 data. In 2019, I can already say that we transported around 127 million parcels. So it's a huge increase, which we also see then in the CO2 emission rise. We have actually, at the moment, 6 mail and 7 parcel logistics centers running, together with 260 delivery bases. And we have a network of around 1,791 postal service points. And all in all, the whole group has around 20,500 employees. What you see on the right side is the map of Austria. For those who have never seen it, it's a small country in the middle of Europe between Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Italy, and Switzerland, Germany, if I don't mention it. And we consume some resources. So it's around 120 million kilowatt hours of energy, which is only the energy for the buildings. And we have around 170 million kilometers of traveling distance every year that we run with our 9,000 vehicles, and we have around 1,600 e-vehicles, which makes up around 17% of our fleet. And we have a building space that we use. The building space we use occupies around 1 million square meters. And that resulted in CO2 emissions of about 71,000 tons in 2018. And of course, we also have a sustainability strategy, which we call Proactive Austrian Post Sustainable for Austria. And yeah, we're making an important contribution to the development of our country and to fulfilling the communication basic needs of the population. So we have these 4 pillars. One is proactive for the economy, the other one proactive for employees, proactive for society, and proactive for the environment. There are several measures that we take and targets that we have in each of these dimensions. And for this webinar or this introduction, most interestingly, of course, is the initiative CO2 neutral delivery, which we invented in 2011. We were together with Posti, the Finnish postal national company. We were the first ones to offer this service. And our claim is that we deliver everything, so every letter, every parcel, direct mail or newspaper, a CO2 neutral manner. And this is done by a three-step approach. In the first one, we try to avoid emissions and increase efficiency. That is just normal business methods, just like saving energy as much as possible. You don't have to pay that energy, so this saves money, of course. And this is done mostly by LED lighting system, changing of heating systems, making sure that all the tires of the cars are pumped up to the right level of air pressure and so on. So just basic activities. And then the second pillar, which is associated with a lot of investment, is renewable energy, where we have now already 4 photovoltaic systems in place with around 2.5 megawatts of installed capacity. We also purchase exclusively renewable energy that origins from Austria since 2017. And as I already mentioned, we have the biggest e-mobility fleet within the company, within Austria, and we are also the owner of the largest Nissan e-vehicle fleet. And we are going to expand this even further until 2030. We will have, our target is to be CO2 free or 100% green on the last mile. And we launched last week a program where we'll be CO2 free in the parcel and in the letter distribution in Graz, which is the second largest city in Austria, by 2021. This is our latest goal that we took. As I said, LED lighting, energy management, environmental management, this is the basics. We have several of our sites certified, and this shows great effects, and it's contributing to the employee satisfaction, but also to reputation, and it's good to communicate this to the customers. So this is quite a good approach to deal with all the environmental impacts of the company. And as I said, the second thing is the photovoltaic systems, which we install on the roofs of our sorting centers and then use all the energy that we produce by ourselves. So we don't need to sell it, or it's around 10% of the energy that we consume in the logistics centers can be sustained with the photovoltaic systems on the roof. And we will further increase the amount of these systems until 2030, because we see that it is the payback time is quite good, and makes us somehow a little bit more independent. And of course, here you can see the ramp-up curve for our electric vehicle fleet. We have Nissan and Renault in the cars segment, very prominent, and we have also for the management, we offer electric vehicles, and we now start to bring electric vehicles also in the segment of the smaller trucks for the parcel delivery. And although therefore there the supply is quite difficult, we found a Chinese manufacturer that has a quite good product in his product line, and we will go further with these manufacturers. Here you can see how much CO2 we already avoided because of the e-vehicles we have in use, and this will further increase over the next years. And here's the product portfolio that we own at the moment, and we're basically testing a lot, and we see that on the bottom where the cars, there is a lot of experience now, and this works quite well. Where we have difficulties is with the single track vehicles, the Piaggio and the IO scooter and all these scooters are not as good as we would like to have them. And we also have a science-based target, like many other postal companies who were kind of first movers in this topic. We said we want to reduce our emissions by 14% until 2025, which is quite difficult, I must say, because we see this enormous growth in parcel, and we are at the moment not on the right track to reach that target. Because when we set up the target and we used the base year of 2013, we had around 90% less parcel volumina than we see today. And this is incredible growth, which is good for our business, but bad for our emissions. And yeah, the emissions in the end that result from our activities, so it's around 71,000 tons per year. It used to be higher, of course, but with the measures we got it down. But still, we are, as I said, not where we want to be. Where we want to be honest, would be zero emissions, but that won't be so easy to reach, especially in the heavy truck segment. So we have to do something, and that something is called compensation. Although there's a lot of critics in compensation, there is one thing, at least it's one thing that you can do that does make sense, that helps. And to be honest, there's never a bad way to lose weight. And if this is the only possibility in the end to get something done, then it is. And we have compensated around 570,000 tons of CO2 since we started. And we focus on international and national projects. And it's a great variety. It goes from biomass use in Thailand to the Wonder Bag project in South Africa. We have hydropower. We've supported hydropower plants in China, but also in other parts of the world. And we have to install photovoltaic systems in India, and we have conservation projects, for example, in Rwanda, and efficient cooking ovens down there. But we also try to invest or help to protect the climate in Austria. And so there is a lot of renewable energy measures that we supported through the national authorities. And all in all, it was around 75 to 80 international projects and around 75 national projects that we supported throughout the entire history of the program. And what I hope this works now. I would like to show you the CO2 neutral homepage. Okay, so what you can see here is our webpage for the CO2 neutral delivery. The idea was to show the customers, but also to the interested public, what we are doing. So you can find all the necessary information about the initiative, the 3 steps to get there. You can have the contact. It's also linked to the sustainability reports and to our email address. And what is quite special about this initiative is we offer it to our customers to use it on their advertising material. If they send letters or parcels with us, they can use it on their, let's say, stamp or on their bill or on their advertising material and say, that's the logo over there. So you can download the logo here. It's just little, that's the new logo. You saw it, the old one in the presentation, because we did not translate it so far. The idea is that this logo is used by the customers as well, and it gets more attraction to the topic, and kind of a sensibilization measure for all of us. But what might be interesting for you as well is the compensation projects. So we set up here the national and international climate compensation projects, and we group them into biomass, energy efficiency, renewable energy, and water. And if you, for example, click here on water, should open, and there's a short description, and there's all the projects that we supported throughout the whole initiative. And if you, for example, click here on, that's for drinking water wells in Rwanda, you can get then the sheet where it gives all the information about the project. That is a gold standard project, how much, that's a microscale project, what is the project number, who are the people responsible, and what are the environmental, social, and societal benefits of that program. So we thought that it's very important to be as transparent and reliable as possible. That's also the reason why we put all this information publicly available. We also have a auditing process in place. We work with the TÜV Austria. They are always checking CO2 inventory and also the compensation. And we have developed an own criteria set and how to choose these projects. So they must be gold standard or verified carbon standard. And it must have a more than just the CO2 benefit, but also something that is good for the society, for the people there where the project is happening. And that is basically our approach, which is quite successful so far, I would say, because we see it when we have customer service that the initiative and the idea behind is perceived and very well perceived by the public. And just this year, we received the National Prize for Climate Transparency and also another award for the CO2 neutral delivery. And we are one of the only ATX, which is the Austrian prime market stock exchange. We're the only climate change A-list company listed. There are only 2 A-list companies in Austria. So yeah, it shows that we are doing quite well, and we know that we have to always keep on going. And that's also the reason why we decided to renew the whole corporate and sustainability strategy this year, to get ourselves into the new millennium, yeah, no, not in the next decade, that's better. And yeah, that's basically it from my side. And now I would be very happy to take your questions and yeah, have a fruitful discussion about the topic.